Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are here again to another MDJ video, and if you are new here, feel free to comment, subscribe and like the video. So those videos that I record here to my daily journal are unscripted, so I basically talk what I have in mind sometimes. In today's video, I am thinking to talk about language and what is the purpose of learn language. Because you see, like in the internet, when you are trying to learn how to learn language, when you starting to know how to do it, you will see some people saying that you should first of all know why we learn this language, right? That's a very good point, because the question is why we are doing this. Learn language is not easy. It's not an easy task. You have to put effort, you have to put time to do it. You really must like compromise, be compromised with like language learn process, and that's not a easy thing to do. And while are learning the language, you guides you to what is like the way that you should follow it to achieve your goal. Because if you don't have a goal, whatever you do will be great, or at least will be fine for you, because you don't have a goal, right? You not know what you are doing that. And I want to ask you, if you are a language learner like me, why are learn language in the first place? Why were doing so? It's for your job, it's for talk with your friends, it's to have fun, because you have to you need to know a specific goal that you will like need that language. Another thing that makes important know your goal is that if you don't know your goal, you will not have motivation to study the language, because the language, as I said, is not an easy task. It's very hard, and if you don't have this knowledge, will be very very hard to get like to be really in the flow to learn language. You like 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and you will be there fighting to learn the language. And if you can't know why you are doing that, you will not be able to be motivated, and you will not be able to keep in doing that. I'm not a good example of it. You see in this series that I'm supposed to record daily, you will see a lot of gaps between my videos. But it's important never like quit totally. It's important to do not like just stop to learn the language, because if you stop, you will you will like surely not to achieve the level that I want to achieve. You will surely not achieve, because like if you are not progressing, of if you feel that you are not progressing in the language, as is very common to say, the intermediate plateau. If you are passing through this phase and you feel that you are not progressing, if you quit the language, surely you will not progress. Because if you're trying to fight, although you are not motivated, although you don't want to do what you are doing, you will keep learning, you will keep improving, because you are doing a thing to improve. But otherwise, if you are not doing so, and you just quit the language learn process, you will not improve, because you can't improve if you don't try it, right? So that's the point, and that's the question actually, because it's that makes know your goal important, because the goal that you want to achieve will guide you throughout the process of language, of learn a language. You can learn a language to build connections, to go to a country, to have a better job, and that 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 is the reason that most people learn language. But I want to ask to you, what is your goal? What you want to achieve with it? Because you see, like in the internet, we see a lot of guys that just learn language to gain more subscribers and to be more famous. That's a very, very bad thing though, because if you're just there to be famous and not liking the process by itself, and do not like having contact with the language because you like, and looking for a real goal, if you are not doing that, your language learn process will be meaningless. You will not be able to have a proper learning in a proper routine, in a proper journey. You will not get anywhere. You will be stuck in a level, in a mediocre level, and will not be able to improve. Like the those guys who are in the internet. Oh, I speak 25 language. I speak 35 language. Sometimes I'm not saying that everybody that the do that is a bad person, but I'm saying that some guys that do this, they just want to scam you. They just want to like take your money because, oh, I'm selling a course. Is that not a curse? Like car? I my pronunciation is bad though. But you understand, they're selling um, their products, and that's the point. They learn language to scan other people. And be careful to not be scanned by those guys who talk 25, 45, 100 language, because normally it's a scam. And in most of case, they just know two, three, four, five phrases in a language, in 20 languages or 30 languages. So it's easy. I'm not saying that is easy actually, but it's easier than properly like study for a long period and learn properly the language, because I can I can arrive here and say some words in, I don't know, Russian that I have in mind without speak Russian. Like I can say some phrase I'm saying that if I study some phrases and memorize them, I will be able to come here and talk a bunch of phrases without speaking Russian, and will be seen that I speak Russian. And other guys just do this to build connections. And although that's a very good point, you must be careful to not limit yourself by what you want to achieve. Like if you want to build connections, you can build like tiny connections, knowing a tiny amount of the language. You see, if I'm let's give an example. If I learn Russian, as I was saying, if I learn 20 phrases of Russian and go to talk with a Russian guy or a Russian girl, whatever, and when I get there, I say those phrases and say that I can speak Russian fluently. If my pronunciation is good enough, I will have some contact and have a small talk, and that will be a connection, but will not be a deep connection, and I will not be able to communicate like deeply with that person because the I not know the language in the level that requires. So be careful to not get deep into the language learn process, whatever your goal is. Be careful to not be just in a part that you can't dive properly in the language and you just know a bunch of words that you connect and build some phrase. Be careful. In my point of view, language learn is a process that requires effort and time, and it is not good when you just want to learn some words the for from some basic phrases and talk with a random guy that you saw in the streets. For me, what should like in a word ideally what should like move we to learn the language is to have a proper knowledge of it, is to be able to communicate the thoughts and to try to communicate what is inside us in a very strong way. Like it when you see a poem that was built in a language that you are not familiar with, let's say I'm not as familiar with English what as I am with Portuguese, because Portuguese is my native language. So imagine I'm a native speaker of Portuguese. I can understand Portuguese poems, for example. But when I read an English poem and I can understand it, that's awesome, bro. That's just amazing because I have the opportunity to study a language that is not my native tongue through some periods of time and be able to understand the cultural aspects of the language that a random guy or that a very good poet writes. That's what makes language learn beautiful, and that's what I think that we should look for it. I know that most part of the the people that learn language is not to be like an intellectual in the language and is not to read the classical books of that language. But when you can do so, you have a very deep relation with the language and a very strong connection with it. And when you can express yourself in a very complex way, that you can talk what you are thinking in that language, when you reach a level that you are not anymore translate from other language to the language that you already know and just talking a bit, when you reach that level that you're thinking in the language and you are constantly trying to communicate yourself in that language. That's what make language learn awesome for me. And like, I understand if you want to build connections with the language, and that's what moves you to learn that language, go ahead, do it. But try to not build like meaningless connections. If you want to talk with people, learn them their language, but learn them properly. Learn the language in a level that you can communicate your thoughts in a very complex way, because you will be you will build a strong connection with someone by talking the language in a very deep way, not in a superficial way. For example, if some foreigner comes here in my country, that is Brazil, and they start to speak Portuguese with me. If they know like just a little of Portuguese, will be awesome. Like a foreigner is trying to learn my language, and this show their respect for my language and my country and the things that I'm part of it. So they arrive and they talk a bunch of phrases in Portuguese. That's awesome. But it's even more awesome when you realize that that specific person put effort throughout time and like try really hard to learn that language to be able to communicate themselves in that language. So if someone reaches here talking C1 Portuguese, for example, I will be like far more impressed by the language skills than if they just talk a bunch of phrases. So it's better, in my opinion, to have a very good level in a few languages than try to learn thousands of languages in a very superficial way. I'm trying to learn English in a very deep way. I'm trying to do so, and I already reached a level that I can communicate myself. But I want to improve more, and I'm starting to learn French now. But I want to learn French in a level that I can read French literature, that I can be part of the language properly. Because when you learn something, right? When you learn whatever that be, in some way, that thing is part of who you are, or at least, yeah. If I learn French will be part of who I am. My identity will be composed by French, as well English, as well Portuguese, that is my native tongue. But if you love the language will be a part of you. You see the difference? Like, if you really want to learn the language, and if you love the language learn process, you are not just that language will not just be a part of you, but you will be a part of the language. When you reach a level that you are becoming a part of the language that you are speaking, that's what makes, in my opinion, the whole language learn process meaningful. That's what to do. Because when you learn a thing, that thing will be obviously in a part of you. You will be part of your new identity. But when you love a thing, when you really want to learn something, when you want that thing so hard that that thing becomes a, that you becomes a part of that thing, that's where you can express yourself in a proper way, and you will start to build real connections, and you will start to be a part of the language. So that's what I want to say. See you all in the next video, probably. And learn language. It is a good thing. Leave your comments down below talking about what do you think about the language learning process, and see you soon probably.